wisdom, but the deposit ended up being, it was like 3% of my total base earnings from the military. And I don't know if you've done like a calculation of just what your base pay was when you were in, but I have like an official figure of what that was.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of depressing. For like, so it's the grand total that I made while I was in the Navy was $274,000. 200, yeah, yeah, $274,000 and some change.
Just in base pay.
Yeah,
I
but
got you.
like average that out over 9 years, it's like like not great.
Yeah, I mean we get other perks, but
Yeah,
overall not great.
just for like how shitty the experience was.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Who do we got? We got Foos, Blarg, Maddie, Heidi, and Chris. All right, everybody here?
You?
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
so everything's going to be a little bit weird today because
Where's Travis? Is he playing?
he's going to be a little late.
Okay.
Um, somebody disconnect? Or... Oh, still got everybody. All right, whatever. Anyway, so everything is all messed up now. Oops, not that one. Mine is. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, somehow everything is like ridiculously messed up now. From, well, not that. Updates, and it's been months since we've done this, so anyway, bear with me. So I was telling some of the guys earlier on, Foundry isn't working, so we don't have Foundry available to us. So I'm gonna have to basically run it on my screen. I have like a little screen marker, so you know you guys can tell me like where you are or whatever and stuff. All of the roles that we do are going to have to be on uh, D&D Beyond. Um, yeah, so it's gonna be a little more annoying today.
So we'll just join in the campaign view campaign on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, you can just open your character sheet.
Yeah, open character sheet that way.
Yeah, and I have my my screen up, my screen sharing, so that anybody can just look at that. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Whoa.
So for leveling up, I need to. I decided just to take the paladin level, but I need to roll a hit die. Should be
Yes.
a 1d10.
For Paladin, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a little test roll here to see if you guys can see. I don't know if you guys have your D&D Beyond up or not.
Yeah, I got mine pulled up.
Well, that's terrible.
Ooh, that's rough.
What'd you get?
A 1.
Reroll ones.
Alright.
Go back.
5. All right,
Okay, that's
that'll
better.
that'll work.
Yeah. So, I think like we said before, from here on out. So I was doing for HP. If you roll a 2 or a 1, it's a reroll. Now, it's just if you do a 1, and that's the
Toonies.
standard.
Tuna.
Squirter with the bottle. She's being bad.
Right.
Um,
Stop.
Anyway, so Chris, I know said was a little bit sick, so he's not going to be with us for the whole session. He's just here kind of for the beginning part. So, since it's been a while, we'll do a long recap. So, currently we're in Silvery Moon. So you guys had made the trip from Tribor. You had fought off the Giants' attack at Tribor, and you had saved all of the villagers, and Othavir offered up a quest for you to, on your travels to Silvery Moon. He said he knows of people of his name, the House Margaster. They have a house carriage in the marketplace in Silvery Moon. And they sell goods normally, but they have a stash of a secret stash of magical items that he knows of that they don't sell to the general public. However, you got those. He didn't really care. He just was giving you that information. So, however you guys want to go about that is up to you. If you even want to pursue that. And the other thing that was going on, obviously with the Giants attacking, there was a lot of uncertainty as to why all the Giants were attacking and what was going on. And so there is a large library in Silvery Moon that you had been told about that may have some information. So the other part of going to Silvery Moon was a knowledge-seeking quest. So that's kind of what you have going on. You made the travels. You got attacked a couple of times along the road to Silvery Moon. Nothing you guys couldn't handle. You made it to Silvery Moon, and the House Margaster house carriage wasn't there. You were told that they were out on a trip and were expected back maybe within the next couple of days. In the meantime, you found a nice inn. I forget exactly where you guys went. I don't know if you remember. I remember vaguely on the map where it was. I don't know if anybody wrote that down, but
I did not.
yeah.
Wayward Inn.
The Wayward
Okay.
Inn. Okay. That one is.
I think it's up to the left.
Yeah, I think it's top left, like the intersection.
The Wayward House. Is that the one?
I would assume.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I
It's
think.
just- It was right next to a tavern, yeah.
Yeah, so the Wayward House doesn't have any food. It's basically just a sleeping place. But I think you guys went up to Helmer's Wall and had a nice, quiet evening. Not too much concern there. And then you all retired back. I think only a couple of you went, actually. And then the few of you that went out retired back to the Wayward House to sleep and give yourselves a long rest. So if you guys haven't done that, you can give yourself a long rest. And we'll pick it up from there. I don't remember how you guys got rooms. I think I had... Basically, you were all in 2 rooms. And each room had like 3 beds in it or something like that.
Yeah, I think we buddied up, if I remember.
Yep.
correctly.
Yep.
All right, so...
I was
morning
propped
is-
in front of a door.
Yep. Was that? I think it was it Wabu, Mac, and Ravo? You guys were in one room.
I think I was in the other one. I believe, because I think I was with Gilda and
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
someone else. I know I wasn't with Mac.
Did Owen go out with the group drinking the other night when you got here, or was that
I
Lowell?
believe I retired early.
Okay, so it must have been Lowell then. So it was Wabu, Mac, and Lowell in one room, Ravo, Owen, and Gilda in the other room.
Sounds right.
So, Wabu, you are propped up against the door, and you're the first to notice that there seems to only be two of you in the room.
Tuna.
And obviously it's you, and you happen to see Lowell across the room, who's just getting out of bed now as well. But you don't see Mac.
All right, I'm gonna go wake up Lowell. Lowell, Lowell, hey.
Can anybody hear him?
Is he dead?
I saw his box go green, so he was saying something. Maybe
Come to think of it, I haven't heard him since he joined.
I thought I did. I saw him in, but
Yeah.
oh, there he is.
Oh, there we go.
The old Discord decided to use a
Nice.
I'll say
All right.
my back button as my push to talk. We're
Well,
be level 6, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Lowell, have you seen Mac? I'm surprised he's not here since I slept in front of the door.
Well, maybe he went out the window. He certainly has some things he does not like to discuss.
Hmm. True. I guess I'm
You can
Go
rouse the
let the
others and let
others
them
know.
know.
yeah.
As I stall and use this time to go back through and look at the spell list again.
Yeah, so you guys, your rooms were adjacent to each other, so you can easily walk out and find the other room.
I'm gonna bang on their door.
I'll open the
So-
doors. I'm probably already up at that point. Hello? What is it? Something wrong?
I don't know. Do you know where Mac might be?
I mean, it wasn't in our room, so I don't.
It's also not in our room.
Are you sure? He's certainly one easy to miss.
He is small.
I did not see him. I mean, you can check if you'd like.
Perhaps he's just gone out for a morning stroll.
Yeah, I mean we can. I'm assuming there's like a lobby or something to the house, the inn.
There was, yep. You guys are on the second floor, and down on the first floor, it's pretty standard. There's a couple tables and seats around, and then you have the desk with the owner or proprietor of the Wayward House, who just happens to be going through some papers at the moment, just looking a little bit busy, but nothing too crazy.
I'll kind of jaunt down and I notice if Mac is anywhere? Or...
You get down to the first floor, and you do not see Mac or anybody else besides the owner down on the first floor.
Should we go and look for him? Should we do our own thing and hope he comes back?
Well, we should, I guess, start in our room. Look around. See if there's any, hints or anything. A note.
Maybe you can set off his turret. He's so fond of.
All right, so you look around the room. You don't see his turret anywhere. In fact, you don't see any of his possessions. Um, you do, however, now that you look at the bed that he was sleeping in, see a note on the pillow. And it's addressed to the Bucket Brigade.
Alright.
Can any of you read?
Yes. I suppose I'll read it out loud. Gather around, everyone.
You should have a message in your Discord.
Yeah. Sorry. The fucking mini screen is blocking the text. There we go. Dear Bucket Brigade, sorry to have to tell you this way, but I see no other choice. My past has caught up with me. I took something from dangerous people and they want it back. For the good of not just you, but many innocent people, I must disappear. I'm leaving my haversack in Wabu's capable hands. In it, you can find a healing potion, 300 gold, and several high-end necklaces I found, in quotes. Signed, Mac Macmillan McTavish.
A spell is upon him.
A what?
A spell.
What
He'd
spell?
never give up his gold.
Oh. So with that, that is basically our. Yeah, I talked with Travis. He's a little bit busy right now, and so he won't be able to continue the campaign with us for the time being. So we talked about this being his way of exiting the campaign at the moment. So
Okay.
he is leaving his possessions to Wabu. So Wabu, you can add a bag of holding, as well as a healing potion, 300 gold, and then a couple of assorted necklaces that we can figure out the value of at some point in the future.
Okay. Hang on here. I guess I feel we all deserve the gold as much as any one of us, so I'll split that up evenly.
Split
Between
5 ways, so
five of us.
60 apiece.
Yep.
Interesting learning to manage the new interface a little bit since we haven't really used D&D Beyond, but
Yeah.
boom, done, got it.
I think it
Manage
should
point.
basically be very similar to Foundry.
It
just,
is.
Maybe a
Things
little
are in
easier. I don't know. I think I
different
remember
places
when I
a
was first looking at Foundry versus D&D Beyond. I felt like the D&D Beyond character editing and controls were maybe a little bit easier, but
I'm gonna figure out how to add the bag of holding. Is that equipment?
Mm.
I believe so.
Should be able to go to manage inventory and
Yeah,
add
I think you-
items, and then there should be
Yeah.
like a lot of generic stuff in there, like bag of holding and other magical equipment.
Bag of holding. There we go.
Add item, filter, and search. Yeah,
Alright.
I definitely think that the item, the inventory system in D&D Beyond is a lot better. But
Yeah.
Hmm. Well,
The worst thing is trying to have to play with the communication between the two.
yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunate news.
Yep. But I mean, I think we all kind of started this with the understanding that we're all adults and busy people, so it's quite possible that not all of us can play the whole campaign. So
Yeah.
we'll hope that he can return to us sooner rather than later. But for the time being, we're now a party of 5. So, the rest of the morning is up to you guys.
Well, I like the sound of visiting one of the oldest libraries in existence. Perhaps the Vault of Sages could be our next visit.
Is it mages or sages?
Sages.
Yes, that is a good question. Sages, yes.
Sages.
Sages? Oh, sorry, I had it wrong on my notes. I was like, oh, oops.
Close enough. They're basically mages, so I actually think they are. There's like the Conclave of Silvery Moon or something. And I think they're like a group of mages, basically. So either one works. So the Vault of Sages is not too terribly far away from you. You were told on your way in that it was just on the south side of the Moon Bridge. Is that what it was called? The Moon Bridge, just on the south side, and so it's not too hard to find. Oh yeah, sorry, Chris. That was really the plot point that was for you. So you can head out whenever.
Okay. Well, I'm a dip. I'm sorry, guys. I just have not been feeling well.
No worries. Get better
All
soon.
good.
No worries, man.
Yeah,
Feel
feel
better.
better.
Feel better.
Thank you.
A big sweet.
Good luck and have fun.
All right.
No, yes, it'd be worth taking a journey to the library and see if there's any information.
Yeah, head that way.
Mm-hmm.
No need to dally. Dilly dally.
Dilly dilly.
Sorry.
Let's go.
One Yeah,
Guys,
so,
funny story. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Tuna's staring at me like I'm insane because I'm just randomly talking, but not to her. So that's it. The end. Full story.
Nice.
She gotten a lot bigger.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the size of a horse.
Not really, but she's pretty big. Alright. So you guys are going to the Vault of Sages. Do you stop anywhere for breakfast?
Yes,
Yeah,
always.
I mean, are there any of the carts kind of? I mean, are we going through the market? Like, can we make a
Nope.
loop around?
Well, yeah, you
Street
absolutely
loop?
can. I don't know if you see where my mouse is right now.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys are at the Wayward House, and the Vault of Sages is right here.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too far. It only takes a couple minutes to walk there. But yeah, obviously you guys can go through the market, see if there's any food carts, or stop at any of these taverns, the Dancing Goat, or anything like that along your way.
I mean, there's a
Greet
tavern.
meats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tavern that's right there. That might not be a bad place to just pull in too quick, grab a bite to eat.
You're talking about this one, the
Yeah.
Dancing Goat. Sure.
Can Lowell divine any 5-star review breakfast spot?
Unfortunately, it's a little bit out of his skill set, but maybe in the future.
Divine Yelp.
Yeah, so you guys head over to the Dancing Goat.
It's a new Bard College. College of Yelp.
Yep, the College of Yelp. They told you to go to the Dancing Goat. It's it's normally a pretty rowdy place, but at the time being, it's fairly quiet. There's a couple people milling around. A couple people maybe look like they haven't gone to sleep yet. Heads down on the table. Somebody's in the corner snoring. So they don't look like they really shut down ever, but You walk in and the atmosphere is quiet enough, comfortable. You can find a table easily for the 4 of you, or 5 of you rather.
Right. To eat here. Perhaps some delicious eggs and breakfast meats.
Oh, well, welcome. Yes, we do have an assortment of breakfast items. We can do your eggs if you would like. We also can add some meat to that, and we have some ground-based potatoes, or sorry, ground-based vegetables that we can add into the mix. Or, if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, we have some fruits locally picked that we can make a nice little salad with, or we can give you an actual salad. There's plenty of options. What would you like?
Are there other sorts of based potatoes? Like fire-based potatoes
They are
Potato.
or
ground
air?
ground-based
Based
vegetables.
Oh, my bad.
One could
I
liken
think,
them to a potato. Yes.
If possible, I would love some eggs, whatever breakfast meats you have, perhaps some root vegetables, served in a very large, piping hot cast iron pan.
Of course, we can do that. We
Do you have gravy?
we do have a gravy of sorts. We can add that.
Just drown it. Gravy.
Drown it in gravy. Got it.
I will have that, please.
Okay, that's 2. Any more?
I will take one of those minus the gravy.
Minus the gravy. Got it.
I'll just do eggs, vegetables, and some fruit.
Okay, no meat for you. Excellent. And for a turtle, yeah, I'll have one of those too. What? One of what? What that guy said, pointing at Owen. Ah, another skillet, of course. Is that all for you? Waters, drinks, ales?
Ale? For me,
One
please.
one ale.
I'll take a water, thank you.
Water, of course.
I'll also stick with water.
Another water.
Water for me as well.
Water and water for the turtle.
How
Alright.
can you hope to fight if you're not properly plump with ale? Disgraceful.
Alright, I'll bring that right out to you. It should be just a few minutes. We just have to go find some root-based vegetables and cut them up for you. And they head back to the kitchen, and you can hear a couple pots and pans clanging around. The sizzling of some stuff on the stove. You can get some wafts of smells coming out of the kitchen. Various things, some hot oils and various meats cooking. And before too long, they bring the food out to you and your drinks. Within there, that'll be 2 gold total.
I got this.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. Just let me know if you need anything else.
Most kind, my friend.
All right, so you guys got all your food and drinks, and everything looks and smells pretty nice. You're actually impressed with the quality of cooking here.
It'd be worth a return trip sometime if we stay here for a while.
Yes, absolutely.
But the College of Yelp, no.
All right. So, is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I think just head to the that vault.
All right. So you finish up your breakfast, and they come around and pick up your plates, you guys hang around for a little bit, but before too long, you get back on the road, cross the moon bridge, which is it seems a little more treacherous than when you first got here because you got here and it was getting dark, and you were told that the moon bridge really only shines at night, and in the day, it feels like it's mostly invisible. You can just barely make out the slightest shimmer as you are, approaching it, and you can see it rise up and over the river. You can see that nobody's really worried about anything, and they definitely have a clear-cut idea of where that bridge is. So, cross the bridge to, no major events, and you get to the other side, and you can see the south side is definitely a lot newer than the north side. Where you're staying on the north side is part of the original section of Silvery Moon, and there's a lot of really old buildings, and some are abandoned and crumbling, and some have kind of been built on the foundations of older buildings. But the south side looks like everything's not like within the last couple of years necessarily, but definitely significantly newer by maybe 500 years or so. The architecture style has changed, and how they design their roofs and the window frames. So they definitely had a big change when they built this part of town. So you come off the bridge and you take a little bit of a left, and you're heading over towards the Vault of Sages, which is down right here. You got to walk past a couple of buildings. This one in particular is a forge and tack shop. Doesn't look like they're open yet. Still relatively early in the morning. And you guys arrive at the Vault of Sages. You can see it's a relatively small building, but it's fairly tall. It goes up at least 3 stories that you can see. There's windows for 3 stories on the outside at least. I guess that maybe it goes up for a 4th. You're not entirely sure. But you approach, and there's one guard. It's on the outside. He doesn't look like he's minding too much of a business of anybody. He's just there in case any trouble happens. But just gives you a nod as you kind of walk up to the front doors. There's some big double doors, probably like 12 to 15 feet tall. You have your standard wooden doors. One of them is propped open enough to allow for passage. The other remains closed. And so here you are at the Vault of Sages.
All right.
Is there any librarian or anyone such attending, or is it or a front desk, so to speak?
Yeah, so you walk through the front door, and there is a front desk with a clerk there. You can see an elven man dressed in pretty simple robes. And he's got his head down and is looking at some paperwork at the moment. He sees you come in and says, "Oh, welcome to the Vault of Sages. Let me know if there's anything I can help you find. Please mind the restricted areas."
Good morning, sir. Particularly, we are looking for something. Do you have any information on the different types of giants and perhaps something called an ordning?
Giants. Ordning. Well, we don't have too many stories on giants. And I'm not entirely sure what the ordning is. But if you were to have any luck, I think you probably want to look. Let me think. Where was that? He kind of looks back down and shuffles through some pages. Looks like maybe he's got like a book that has a generic what's where in the library, and says, giants. Yes, they are on the 2nd floor. As you go up the stairs, you would take a left, and they'll be on the 3rd aisle down on the right-hand side. You should somewhere on that shelf. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not one of the bookkeepers, so to speak. I just have the manifest of where things are. But you should find what you're looking for in that area. It says we do have 2 books here. One is just simply entitled Giants, and the other is called Ordning a History. I expect if you were to search there, you might find what you're looking for. Or if not, come back and see me, and we might be able to find you something else.
Thank you very much, sir.
Of course. And he goes back to his papers, shuffling around and writing a note here and there.
That's perhaps some lead. I'm going to head up and see if there's any information in either of these tomes.
Okay. So you go up the stairs, and you can clearly see why this is considered one of the greatest collections of knowledge in Silvery Moon, and also the North in general. People from all over come here. There's just shelves and shelves of books. When you come on the inside and you're going up the stairs, you can kind of see that it does in fact go up for 3 more floors above you, and there's actually it looks like 1, maybe 2 floors below you as well. And pretty much every floor looks like it's just shelves and shelves of books. So you go up the stairs, and you follow their directions. You take that left and 3rd row down on the right, and you're taking a look for that book. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Group perception.
I'll just have Lowell do it, just because he was the one taking the lead up there.
16.
That's pretty good. So it doesn't take you too long to find the book that he was talking about. You see, kind of near the back wall, there's a couple, a shelf that's got some dusty tomes on it. It looks like, and you see one just called Giants, and it looks like right next to it is a blank spot, and you can see the dust on the shelf was recently disturbed. Looks like it was, maybe in the last week or so, well, a couple of days, maybe you're not really sure how long ago, but you don't see a book called Ordning a History. You just find a book called Giants. So what are you looking for in the book?
I was more curious about the other book that appears to not be here. Zephyros was discussing the ordning, and it might be related. In the meantime, I can get some information and insights onto the different types of giants and their role in the society and what interests they might have.
Yep. So you can see that this is a book that's kind of more like an encyclopedia of giants, all sorts of giant kin. It does start off with the major groups of giants. So you've got your storm giants, you've got your cloud giants, fire giants, frost giants, stone giants, hill giants. And then a couple of those have some variations they talk about. So there's like a fog giant and a mountain giant. And then some of the lesser groups still related to giants. It talks about ettins and ogres, stuff like that. So it gives you some information, some basic information about them. If there's one in particular that you're looking for info on, I can give you some more information on them. But it's generally just talking about each individual group. But at the beginning of the giant section, it does have a small blurb in there that talks about the ordning. And what it says is the ordning is a social structure for the giants. And it more or less ranks the giants into a class-based system. And that's really all it says about that. So
Does it reference whatever like the current hierarchy is or last known?
it does not.
What type of giants was it at the other town?
Stone giant, I think.
You
Do they
go
have
ahead, go ahead
a
and
name?
roll a history check. See how good your memory is.
Nice.
18.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty. It wasn't a very hard DC, but you remember that they were clad in iron plate and they had fiery red hair. Um, there are some generic pictures in this book, and you can kind of match them up. They kind of look like the pictures that they have for the fire giants.
Do some reading up on them.
Okay.
See if there's any insight into what kind of device they might have been searching for.
Okay, so as you are looking through it, um, in the back, it kind of has like another small section. Give me 1 second to look this up.
Lowell, do you think I might be part giant?
I'm quite tall.
Usually still a bit taller. There's always the possibility of very distant. I can't say I know how tall your people usually run.
So in this back section, it has a name Vonindad, which they translated in the book to mean the Titan of Death. And really all it says is it was a colossal construct used against the dragons in the war, the ancient wars between the dragons and the giants. That was Vonindad, Vonindod.
And that sort of matches the description of what they were digging out of the ground.
They don't really have too much of a description in the book, but knowing that it was a colossal construct, you can think back to the piece that they pulled out. It was a very large piece. It was kind of like moon shaped, if you will, just kind of squared off on the ends, not pointy. You can't really say for sure that it was, but it definitely was a very large piece.
Okay.
Sorry, who? The giants pulled out a piece of possibly this thing?
When we were in Tribor, right?
Yep.
They were when the giants attacked when we were about to leave to head off the
Mhm.
Silvery Moon. There was that like
Oh, they were
raid
digging
by
that
the
hole
giants.
in the
Yep.
thing. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It was 4 months ago.
Yes.
So
Almost as long for you guys in game. It was at least a 2 week trip. So
We
with
walked
your
very slow.
history check, Lowell, you also remember that they kind of came into the town, and it looked like they were holding something in their hand that might have been leading them to where they were digging, almost like a divining rod, if you will.
Yep.
can I swayed the librarian to help us find the book that was missing from the shelf about the ordning?
Sure, you could go talk to them, and you ask, and the person that was standing at the door says, yes, that book was checked out about 3 days ago. Has not yet been returned, but it's not expected for some time in the future.
May I ask, who has the book now?
We are not in the business of giving out names of people that check out books.
Can I lay on an extra thick slice of charisma and attempt to persuade them?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
God damn it!
Big money.
I'm having some bad luck, guys. I'm sorry.
You did roll a 1 earlier, so that tracks.
Perhaps, and then I belch. Yeah.
Excuse you, sir, but I am sorry, but we cannot give that information out.
Not being very persuasive. Okay.
Can I,
figure out if have time for Harvard.
Can I take a look around and see if I can spot the restricted section that was mentioned?
Yeah, so from where you are on the second floor, you can't really see the floors up or down. There is a small section in the middle of the rooms that kind of goes all the way up and down. But as far as you can tell on your floor, there is no restricted section.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go to another floor, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a walk around while
Okay.
while looking through the book. And
Yeah, so you go up to the third floor and you see a couple people milling about. On the third floor, there's actually one corner that has some tables and stuff, and it looks like maybe there's some people studying. You do know that there is a college, fairly large college here in Silvery Moon. You actually passed it on your way in, and so it looks like there might be some students there. In the midst of their studies, they got a couple of scrolls and some large books, but you don't see anything on this floor. You go up to the fourth floor, and I think you're on the fourth now. Yeah, you're on the fourth floor, and you get to the top, and there is a guard there who is at a pretty good attention and watches you come up and says, I'm sorry, you may not proceed past here unless you have the permissions.
oh, what kind of things are beyond here?
I do not know. I just know that this is the restricted section, and so I would assume that there is knowledge that could be harmful to others if the wrong people were to read it, and it is my duty to guard it.
Do you know where I could procure permission to enter this section?
He's starting to look just a little bit exasperated at this point with all the questions, but he's well, you would have to find somebody with enough clout to be able to write you a permission slip, if you will, to give to the clerk at the front door, who will then escort you up here.
Oh, okay, thank you. And while I'm talking to him, can I just take like a look? Like, is there a wall? Is it like a gate? Like, what is? Like, can I see beyond him to like see books or anything?
Yeah, you can, but kind of how the room is laid out, like when you come up the stairs, the shelves are set back a little bit, so you can see the backs of the books, but from your angle, you wouldn't be able to make any of the titles out or anything.
Yeah, I guess could I see like or hear anybody that might be milling in there?
From where you are, you cannot see anybody. If you would like to make a perception check for hearing, you could do that.
Yeah,
Sure.
Where do you go to make a perception check?
Should
You
be on your
Click on the
attributes.
bonus number. Yeah, so like
Oh, you just click on the
on
number.
the character sheet, yeah, you click on the plus whatever your modifier is. It should roll.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know how to roll advantage though.
You could just roll 2 and take the higher.
Yeah.
Okay. I have expertise in it, so that would give me advantage, right?
No, expertise just doubles
Oh, no.
your
Yep.
proficiency.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. We're good.
Yeah, so with a 13, you don't hear anybody milling about in the restricted section.
All right. I will just kind of take my leave and head back down.
Have a good day, the guard says
You
as
as
you
well.
turn around.
I'll head back down to the clerk. So the Book of Ordaining was out. Do you, by chance, know when that's expected to be returned or have any information on it?
I do know that it was checked out about 3 days ago. They did not give an exact date, but they did say within a couple of weeks. And all we have is their name, and I am not allowed to give that to you.
Very well. Do you have any cross-reference with any of the other libraries here? Might they have a copy?
They very well may. We tend to pride ourselves on our collection of knowledge, and we collect a lot of specialty books or one-off books that have only been that only have one copy. So it is possible. However, it may be unlikely if it is a book of a certain quality, one that not the general public would want to read.
So wonder to check. Then, in the meantime, do you have anything relating to? There's an ancient war between the dragons and the giants. Do you have any tomes relating to that, or would that have already been included?
There should be, I would assume, if it's a big enough history. You could definitely find some stories about that ancient war. Let's see. I believe for that you would be on floor 3. You could take a right, and it should be on the second aisle.
All right, thank you very much. I'll go have a look.
Okay.
That's not a restricted area, is it?
Nope, that was on the 4th floor.
Okay.
All right, so what are you looking for up there?
Let's see if that has any mention or discussing the Vonendad in that one.
Okay. So the section that he sent you to is more or less like an Ancient Wars section. So it takes you a little bit of time, but you do find one section that talks about the wars between the giants, or one book that talks about the war between the dragons and the giants. And you flip through it, and it has a description of Vonendad. It says it stood 80 feet tall. It was humanoid shaped with a horned helm and a great sword. It was almost entirely composed of adamantine and had huge rubies for eyes. And then it goes on to talk about the use of Vonendad. It was used mostly for the 1,000-Year War, or through most of the 1,000-Year War. It was not very fast, but it definitely was effective. It could provide immense support when it came to raiding certain areas or battling some of the large worms that were on the dragon's side. And then it goes on to talk about how near the end of the war it sustained significant damage, and pieces of it were lost during the battle. Nobody really knows where they were, and then once it was fully destroyed or out of commission, it was basically dismantled, and it was considered to be such a great weapon that they did not want it to be reused against them, and so they scattered the pieces about the north.
Any mention of anything crescent shaped? in the Vonendad? Anything that, like, that would resemble that, whatever was taken out of the ground there.
Well,
Is that like
there's a rough drawing of it, and the piece that you saw could be like a thigh piece, or maybe like a pauldron, or any of those curved pieces. It could have been any of them.
Okay.
I wonder if my silverbacked friend has any knowledge.
Which friend?
My silver dragon friend
Oh, yes.
from the cloud castle. That was very shiny.
They might. It's a coin flip if you'll ever see him again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should ask around the college about the missing tome from the library.
Okay.
Seems that there might be a scholar there that has an interest in giants and the ordning.
Right,
Is anybody opposed or have any other inquiries for the library?
Excuse me, librarian.
Yes. How can I help you?
Have you recently had any giants visiting this area? Or even
Giants.
perhaps this library?
Giants? No, certainly not. I am not even sure they would fit through the door. They are massive, and they would cause quite a stir should they try to come into our establishment.
Are they not welcome? Or they're just too big?
I don't know much about giants. However, I have heard that they tend to be of a temperament that is not very well suited for a town filled with small folk.
Thank you for your information.
Of course, you are welcome.
I'll catch up if you want to start inquiring and see if we can find who might have that other tome. I'm gonna just scribe for myself and try and copy the doodles and all that of the Vone and Dodd, just to stash along.
Okay.
Oh. So I'm gonna take off towards the institution of higher learning, wherever
Yep.
that might be down there.
So yeah, you can see here all of these buildings are different universities: the Lady College, the Arkans Invocatorium. So there are multiple buildings here. They all kind of have their own specialty.
Is there a building, as I'm sort of wandering around, that looks like a sort of directory for the college, or some like sort of a welcome center?
I would say this large building here, the front of it does look like it would be considered a
It's inviting.
main entrance, or a first time visit person would tend to go there.
All right, so why don't I just stride up and see if there's maybe a receptionist?
Okay. You walk in the front door, and there is a desk there, but there's nobody at it at the moment.
Is there a directory anywhere hanging on the wall, or some sort of map of the campus?
Yep. You do see so it's a small directory, basically, kind of has an overview of where the colleges are, and you can see that this is, as it says, the Invocatorium. You've got the History College. You've got the Ladies College. You have the Alchemy College. So there's a couple other small ones.
So the building that looks like it's mostly oriented towards maybe, like you said, history or
Mhm.
political science, or
Yep, that was this one here.
magical creatures or. All right, so why don't we head over there?
Okay.
I could always just yell out. Maybe someone would Marco Polo respond across the quad.
Well, perhaps maybe the person that took the book is also an expert in whatever the what was the
Study of giants.
well, not just the study of giants, but whatever the war was where the Vonendad might have been used.
The Thousand-Year War.
The 1,000-Year War, not 100-Year War.
Yeah,
1,000-Year
Thousand-Year.
War. Yeah, that's the one. All right. So maybe we might run into somebody else that has some more information on our desired topic. A subject matter expert.
So no yelling.
Well, not yet. Let's wait until we get in the right area. Maybe then we can do some yelling. All right. So head over to the history college, and is there anybody there that looks like they have an official capacity?
Yeah. So you walk in the front, and it does look like there is someone who you might think is a professor of this college is actually kind of walking through the main entrance area at the moment.
Excuse me, sir. I am here to inquire about giants. We were looking for a book over at the Vault of Sages. Noted that one had been recently checked out. Thought perhaps the person who was in possession of the book may have taken it over here as part of their studies. Are you familiar with anybody in the area who has an interest in giants?
Well, good morning. I
Get
am
right
not
to the point.
I am not a giant enthusiast, as you proclaim. However, we did have one such professor here who went by the name of Valdar. However, they left us some months ago, and I am not sure what became of them. They just seemingly left one day, and we had to pick up their class for them, but as they were the giant expert and not us, it was a bit of a struggle, you could say, to maintain the quality of education that these students deserved.
Do you suppose that a student might have checked out a book on the ordning?
I am not sure what the ordning is. However, I would suspect that none of the students may show that much of an interest right now, as we actually had to forego teaching a class on giants at the moment due to the lack of a giant expert. And so we do not have any classes. Are you a professor? Are you a giant expert? We are looking to hire.
No. Just a curious fellow passing through, so as not to arouse suspicion.
Well, you are definitely arousing some suspicion with me. However, I don't mind. I will not tell anybody that you are asking about giants.
I've been told I might be distantly related to giants.
I could see potentially. You are quite taller than I am. I am quite short myself, so I don't think I have any relation to giants.
Can I maybe search around for Valdar's study or office or any, look for maybe where he might have worked
Go
out
ahead,
class?
go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
Can I give him advantage on this? Because I was actually gonna interject because I can speak and read giant, so I could be persuading him to maybe some of the notes or something could lead to where this Valdar might have gone.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow you to have said that so you can have advantage on this.
My
All right.
internet's been a little spotty with the torrential
Ah, yes,
downpour.
that's all right. If for some reason I'm not responding to you, just shoot me a quick message in Discord and we'll try and resolve that.
That's a 16 and a 25, nat 20.
Nice.
All right. So this professor says, we did pack up his study and we moved all of the boxes into a storage room. We were actually thinking that it might be time to get rid of them because we don't know if he is coming back. However, I don't suppose it could hurt to allow you to walk through or look through some of his notes. And follow me.
Following.
So he takes you around. Obviously, like you were in the main entrance area, and so you go around to the left and down a little hallway, and there's classrooms, on both sides, and then you get to the back, and you turn into one room. It's a little bit smaller than some of the other rooms, and then it looks like there's a doorway on the side, and he opens that door, and there's some shelves, and they have some boxes. On the one side, you see a lot of them say, like Valdar and stuff. So this is, as far as we can tell, all of the works that we had about Valdar, or from Valdar.
Can I do a perception check, or just to kind of scan the room to look for things, in relation to maybe the 1,000-Year War, the Ordning, that sort of the topics of interest that we've been investigating regarding the Giants?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll a
Anything
perception
that
check.
really kind of jumps out in his study.
Yep.
9.
Right. So it's not that you can't find it; it's just it takes longer.
Okay.
If the people with you also want to help you look, they can roll a perception check as well. Maybe you guys can find it a little bit quicker.
Also, since I just caught up, I also caught up in you.
Yep, you saw them walk in that building as you were coming across, and so you just kind of followed them in.
Got a +9 modifier on perception.
Yeah. I see everything.
So pretty much at the same time, Lowell and Ravo, they reach for one box randomly. They reach for the same box, and you go ahead. No, you go ahead. Together, so they pull it off and they open it up, and on top you see some notes. There's some stuff written in giant. There's a bunch of other notes. Looks like there's a map. It's a small map, a small area. You're not sure where it would be for. And then you see a note, or not a notepad, but kind of like a couple leaflets, together. And on the top it says Ordning. And there's some notes below it that say, some questions, I guess, that he had on that first page. It's like, what was it? What's happening with it? Why are the Giants attacking? Then at the very bottom, there's a bunch of scribbles, and you can see that he was starting to get frustrated. Through all of his research, he wasn't really having any luck. And then you flip the page, and then you see it says, heard from local person, Ordning a history, has info that I might need. Must leave college to pursue this. And so you see some notes like this, and then you see another one that says, made new hideout below old vault. And
Below old vault.
there's obviously a
Oh,
bunch
whoops.
of other notes in there. Sorry, what?
What was the professor's name again? Sorry, forgot to write it down.
The proprietor's name?
The professor.
Valdar.
Oh, yes, the one that you are looking for. All of his stuff is Valdar, Valdar. And so there's a lot of other notes in there. Most of them are general stuff that you would expect through giant studies, like where do they normally live, what do they eat, how tall are they, what are their war strategies, stuff like that.
Would any of the stuff that was written in Giant, would anything be of use or help pertaining to any of this?
So, because you are fluent in reading Giant, you can see that most of what he was writing looks like he was at kind of a beginner's level. So maybe it's like he was trying to teach himself Giant. So it's not that there's no info there. It's just kind of more like what you would be writing if you were learning a new language.
So so based on his note about below the vault, can I do an insight check to determine if that is describing the Vault of the Sages or some other vault? If it seems clear from the note.
I would say there's not really a check applicable to that. I mean that's what the note says, and you could do a history check, but it would be very difficult.
Is the other professor that led us here, is he still around? Like, is he still here?
Still hanging out at the door.
Okay.
They led you
I'm
there,
gonna-
but they don't feel that it's prudent to just leave you in this
Yeah, no.
area.
I'm gonna turn to him and ask if, sir, was there ever in the Vault of the Sages, was there before that one was built, was there an older version, like an older place where the library was?
I had heard that there was, but I must confess this is a little embarrassing if it was true. Being a history professor myself, I don't know of any old vault. I've only heard rumors, but that's it.
Well,
And
what did
did
the
these
rumors say?
Yeah,
The rumor said that the Vault of Sages was not always located where it is now.
and no guess as to where perhaps this old one may have been?
This city is very old. There are some very old sections that date 1,000 years back. If they had a learning center back then, your guess is as good as mine as to which one of the buildings it was or could still be if it was still in service as a library or just center of knowledge, if you will.
Might the Vault of Sages have records pertaining to relocation?
If there was a relocation, I would assume that the Vault of Sages has a record of it.
Could that have possibly be in the restricted section there?
I wouldn't be able to guess at all. I myself don't go into the restricted section, so I have never seen the types of books that they have in there.
And do you know of someone who would have, I guess, the authority to get one into the restricted section?
You would probably have to go to one of the headmasters of the college here. They would probably be able to get you into the restricted section. However, they don't give it out very frequently, as you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion.
What are you trying to persuade?
Oh, I'm just saying, let's go find the headmaster.
Oh.
I'll attempt to recreate his scribbled map just in case.
Okay.
So we're at sort of the history college.
Yep. So you're in this college right now, actually. So you came in here and you came around to this side, so you'd probably be around here right now in the back of the building.
Is there an administrative building where maybe a headmaster or dean might hang out?
There probably is, but you've never been in here, so you don't know. There is a professor that's hanging out with you.
Yeah, that's true. You could ask him. Yeah. Well, sir, where might we find one of these headmasters?
Oh, the headmaster is up on the third floor. You can't miss his office. It's right at the top of the stairs. And,
this building?
Of this building, yep. The headmaster of this particular college, yes. The College of History. And I do believe I saw them this morning, so I would expect that they would be in their office if they haven't gone off somewhere to attend one of the meetings that the headmasters always seem to have to go attend.
Well, I suppose we'll try and pay him a visit. Would
Okay.
you mind escorting us?
I can take you back to the front, but then I do apologize. I'll have to leave you there and continue on my own way, as I do have other business that I need to attend to.
Okay. Can we search the building for the headmaster's office?
Yep. So the professor takes you, back around out to the front, and right in the main entrance area, there's a pretty large set of stairs that go up, and then it splits and then circles back around to the second floor. And so you go up and you go around, and on the second floor, it kind of does the same thing again. There's another large set that goes up and then splits again around again. And so the headmaster's office would actually be, it's not too hard to find with a little bit of looking. It would be right on this corner here, so you can overlook the moon bridge. Yep.
When you
So-
go inquire with him, I'll see if the Vault of the Sages has any history related to possible relocation just in their general availability.
Okay. See, the rest of you get up to the headmaster's door, and the door is currently closed.
Do a quick old knock.
It takes a couple seconds, and then you can hear some footsteps that are approaching the door. And the door opens up, and you see a relatively tall elven woman standing there in pretty nice robes, as you would expect from what a headmaster would wear on a normal day. It says, "Yes. How can I help you? Are you new students?"
Good day, miss. We are not students. However, we believe we can provide you some assistance regarding your missing employee, Professor Valdar.
Interesting. What do you know about Valdar?
Not much. However, we seek his expertise regarding giants. So, in an effort to, pursue our own educational goals, we would like to track down your colleague. But in order to do so, we would like to investigate the some of the materials that might be located in the restricted section of the Vault of the Sages. Is this something that you would be willing to allow us to do, to grant us permission?
Well, we have had parties out looking for him for quite some time. We have not had any progress in that, and honestly, I'm not really sure what granting you access to the restricted section is going to do in your help, unless you have other information about him that maybe we don't have.
We believe he's gone into hiding. We found a note in his belongings that described a hideout location below an old vault. So we believe that there may be some information regarding the old location of the Vault of the Sages that could lead to his den.
And so, yeah, as you're, saying all this, you say the old vault. There's just a moment where you see a look come across her face, where she's just kind of like a little bit surprised, a little like, huh? Maybe like she had an idea in her head, maybe something that she hadn't thought of. But then the look vanishes from her face, and she listens to the rest of your persuasion and says, "Well, I have not thought about the old vault in a long time. It has been several hundred years since that vault was used as a vault. If what you are saying is true, then you're most likely talking about the tunnels that were under the vault. I thought they had long since blocked off those tunnels because they lead out of the city and they lead to one of the nearby cities. And we had, there was a time where we had some bad blood with them, and so I thought we had blocked off the tunnels. But if what you say is true, then that's definitely a place that we have not yet looked."
And how would one go about accessing these tunnels?
Well, that knowledge I am not sure about, actually. I never went there myself. That was far before my time. But so what are you looking for from the restricted section?
I'm just gonna default to Ravo since he.
Thanks. No, it's just I suppose any information as to, I mean, if what you say is true about these tunnels and them supposedly have being, blocked off, it would make sense that that information would be behind a restricted field because they wouldn't want anybody venturing in there if they hadn't been blocked. So I guess looking for any sort of information on how to access these tunnels is essentially what we would be looking for in the hopes of finding Valdar and if he is in any danger, protecting him, bringing him back to teach.
Well, I would very much appreciate having our professor back. All right, go ahead and I guess either the both of you can do a persuasion, or one of you can do advantage.
Let's see. I'll do a persuasion roll.
All right, you can take advantage.
Yeah, it looks like I need it. Holy God.
That's
Hey!
19. There we
Okay.
go.
It's pretty good. So she steps back inside and says, "Come, sit. We must discuss this a little further. I feel like I want to assist you in your endeavor, but I need you to know that the restricted section has a lot of information that should not be used by the general public. Should not even be known to the general public. So some of this information if the general public were to know about it, could definitely cause some serious harm to the city or to themselves, mentally speaking. There's some information in there that would change people's entire world perspective. And so we tend to keep that information locked up tight. So we don't go about uh, giving out passes to the restricted section lightly. But if what you say is true, then I think I can write you one, and I think I'll be okay with it. However, I'd have to ask you, do not read any of the books other than the ones that pertain to the exact things that you are looking for. You might become one of those people that we have had to hide and take elsewhere because their minds could not handle the information.
We shall not stray from our objective. Paladin's honor.
Okay. I think I can trust a paladin's honor, and you look like a trustworthy person, so I'll write you the recommendation. That's a. Doesn't take too long. She pens up a recommendation. So while she's doing that, we'll go over to you because you were heading over to the vault.
I'm just asking with the attendant if they've got anything related to the history of the vault itself.
So when you ask that, you kind of see a look. His face darkens just a little bit. Says, "Yes, but I am sorry. We cannot. I cannot give that information to you. It is in our restricted section."
I see. Very well then. Since I knew they were trying to hunt that down, I'll just wait out the entrance until they swing by.
Okay. So it's not too long before you guys you have your note. You part ways with the headmaster. Work your way back down through the flights of stairs and back out into the open street.
It looks like they did indeed keep it in the restricted section. Did you have any luck?
We did. We received a permission slip from the headmistress. So, shall we venture on into the restricted section? Head down that way.
So you walk back into the vault of sages.
Yeah. And go wave our permission slip in front of the guard.
So you go up to the guard. The guard says, "Yes, I see you have a permission slip. However, I cannot just let you in based on a permission slip. I'm not the one that can authorize that. You have to go talk to the clerk at the front desk."
Okay. So we'll head back out to the front desk and getting a little antsy at this point. Go ahead and slap that permission slip on the desk and say, "Good sir, we wish to enter the restricted section of the vault. I have this written note from the headmistress of the history college here in town."
Obviously, you exchanged names and all that. So,
Yes.
so the clerk picks it up and says, "Yes, indeed, I do recognize that manuscript. Give me just one moment." And looks around and whistles over to another person that seems to be working there, and they come over and say, I need you to watch the front desk. I have to escort these fellow people upstairs." So they switch positions, and the clerk says, "Follow me, if you will." They take you up to the fourth floor, and to the guard, and the clerk says, "They are with me and they have permission." And the guard steps aside and says, "Very well." And so the clerk says, "If you know what you're looking for, look at only that. If you don't know what you're looking for, I can point you in the right direction."
We are so the fourth floor, it like up, right? You know.
Yep.
The tunnels that were mentioned as the old vault would seemingly be below the vault, right? But maybe there's some information about how to access the tunnels. So I guess I can ask about that to
Yeah.
the clerk.
So you are looking more specifically to the history of Silver Moon itself, maybe some of that history that could bring some military issues if that knowledge were known, and more so specifically the history of the Vault of Sages, both of which are linked. Yes, I believe I know which book you are looking for. Follow me. They take you down the hallway a little bit. And as they do, they're kind of giving you a little information as to why the tunnels were there, because there was ingress and egress, secret passages for the early years of the town. And it was an easy way to get information in and out of the city when it first started. And so they started collecting, different books and scrolls here and there, and that collection started to grow and grow, and that's kind of how it became the first Vault of Sages. It was, almost on seedy territory, if you will, because they could bring in information that didn't come through the main gates, and so there was definitely some information that was able to be kept there that wasn't public knowledge at the time. But when the major conflict happened a couple hundred years ago, they wanted all the information that they had accrued to not be in danger of being damaged from enemies coming in through the tunnels, and so they moved positions. And so they lead you to a book, and it says the history of Vault of Sages. It says, I believe this is probably the book that you are looking for, and hands you the book.
Right. So can I investigate the book
Mhm.
for mention of the location of the tunnels or how to access them, and if there's any maybe security measures that might have been put in place?
Yep. You could do an investigation or a perception check, either one, if you would like, just to see how fast you can find it.
Jesus.
So it takes a little while.
Not fast at all.
Yeah.
Cold rolls. Just
Yep. So, it does take you a little while, and the clerk is maybe wondering if you're not so good at reading, but you're just being thorough, that's all. And so, eventually you find what you're looking for. It has an old map of Silvery Moon, and on the map it has the location of the original Vault of Sages, which, the best you can tell, was under the map house here. It says in this book that it got converted to the map house, also known as the Herald's House. And as far as the tunnels, it does mention that there were tunnels. It does say that the tunnels were collapsed. And that's really all of the information it has about the tunnels. Besides
Nothing about
the
spells or enchantments or anything like that.
doesn't say anything about spells or enchantments. It does talk about the history of the tunnels, like the clerk was telling you as they were leading you along. But that's about all the information that you get from that book. The rest of it is kind of, there's like checklists of books and stuff that they moved and, stuff like that. But nothing else seems like it would really be pertinent or important to you guys at the moment.
Does anything from the professor's map match up with what's on the text?
So the map, they did have a map of the tunnels, and from what you can glean from looking at the professor's map, is it looks like maybe that's the entrance or beginning section of the tunnels from the city side, if you will.
Okay. Seems our investigation has led us to the map house. Uh, is there anything else that we want to investigate in the restricted section before we depart that might be related to our inquiries, such as the ordning? Yeah, let's ask the clerk about if there's any additional references in the restricted section about the ordning.
Yeah, you can ask the clerk. Says I don't have the list here in front of me, but as far as I can remember, there was no other books about the ordning.
Very well.
Any restricted books about just giants in general?
I do not believe there are any up here. Not too many people get to study the giants.
Okay.
Shall we depart?
I think we shall.
Keep our word on not looking at any extra books.
All right.
And
so
your good-naturedness.
Lose our minds by staring at the truth tortoise or whatever, you know.
so the clerk escorts you back out, and they still have the permission. And as you walk out, says, "So that was all the information you were looking for," and rips up the permission slip. Says, "Now you are not allowed back in again unless you get another permission slip." So, if that's all you need, have a nice day, and I'll be at the front desk if you need me.
All right. To the map house.
So you come out of the Vault of Sages. Looks like it's getting to be early afternoon. Maybe about 2 or 3 or so. So been quite a long walk around in the morning. But you still have some daylight left.
I might use the restroom real quick and
Yep.
refresh my beverage.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for a break. Come back in a few.
Okay.
Heidi's got a tuna. See how big she's grown.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Hi, tuna.
Big old doggy.
Come here.
It's like
There we go.
8 times the size.
Almost, yeah. You want to go back upstairs? She's coming back up, love. Yeah, so she just got spayed earlier, or Thursday, I guess, last week. And
Little sore still.
I haven't seen any pain or anything, but obviously, you know, it's fresh incisions, so you want to keep them, you know, relatively like calm and quiet. And she's a puppy, and you know, of course, she just likes to run around and do puppy stuff. But so they give you some medication. So she's definitely been on some medication for the last few days, and I mean, you can see how tired she is right now. She's kind of been like that all day, just like,
We're out.
yeah, low energy, just to yeah, see her, she's laying down in the hallway there on the nice cool floor. Is that the best spot, Tunes? Anyway, we got everybody back. I'll take that as a no. How's the baby?
Growing a lot.
So freaking cute.
He's like long.
So we just got
He's-
told about Tuna too. She's a long dog.
Yeah. So like when we took him in for his 4-month checkup, you know, and like do the vaccinations and all that stuff, to do like the length and weight, and he was like off the chart for length. He was in like the 70th percentile for weight, but he was like a full like inch above the 95th percentile line, because you know that like all the graphs they have
Yeah.
use like percentile lines.
So
Yeah,
he's
he was like-
gonna be a tall boy, potentially.
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of silly because it's like all on his torso mostly.
Babies are so weird too. It's like the little kids that you're like, you know, and then they'll like sprout up, or the other ones where they like stop growing at like 12. You're like, who knows?
I don't know.
Healthy and growing is name
Doesn't
of the
help.
game, I guess. Yeah.
It doesn't help his look that he always like keeps his legs up like this still. Like he likes like grabbing his feet and
Yeah.
like so it makes his legs look extra sort of compact. But he's
I
got
love the pics I get from Haley, so
he's already got his 2 bottom teeth. They've been in for a couple weeks, so it's pretty early.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Heidi's sister's kid, or baby T, he didn't get his teeth until, like his first teeth until he was like a year plus.
He's like
Yeah.
the size of a 1-year-old. He's
Yeah.
a large kid right now.
I have a cousin, and their baby both of their kids got teeth at like 5 months.
That's my mom said. I was like, yeah, 5 or 6 months when I got
Yeah.
my teeth. So maybe that's just
Hmm.
a thing.
Ready to
for
go.
us.
Ready to join the
Yeah.
land of the foods.
Yeah, so we've like been experimenting with some foods, but he doesn't really seem to like food. Like tried like various fruits, you know, like kind of sweet, mild stuff that you think like maybe a baby would enjoy, but maybe it's like too sweet. I don't know. So, but like bananas, not really into bananas.
There's
Let
Graham.
me see.
There's
Oh,
the Grahamden.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's insane that he is
Yeah.
only,
He's not even 6 months yet.
I know. Wild.
Wait, when was he born? January what?
February.
February.
No, January 21st. I know I said
20.
February. He was originally due in
Yeah.
February, the first week of February, but he was born 2 weeks early. But yeah,
Yeah.
1/22/23.
January 22nd. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that'll be easy to remember.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He's so tall.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little chunky.
He's
and
so
tall.
cute.
Thank you. We think so, but I think we're like biologically like programmed to. So it's like, hard to tell. Like there's that Bob Marley bit like about parents. Like, oh, isn't Timmy so cute? And Timmy's over in the corner, like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think
Excited
he
to meet him.
yeah, you guys are going to be here in a few weeks.
Yep.
That's right.
So
That'll be nice.
he's not a people person. Like
The way to be.
he cries a little bit when there's a lot of attention on him. Like outside of the two of us. Haley brought him to a prospective daycare place in a town that's near us, and I guess like a lot of the little kids were checking him out. He did not enjoy that and started crying. So maybe gotta work on that a little bit with him.
Mm-hmm.
Get him in public a little bit more.
That's okay. Everything is so new to babies. Takes time.
I mean, hell, I cry when there's too many people around.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
me
not
too.
wrong. Can I blame it on my parents for not being well enough socialized?
Well, I actually struggled with that when I was younger, because I grew up on Little Cranberry Island, which is like teeny, and there's like nobody there, and I knew everybody on the island, and then I moved to Mount Desert Island, and I didn't know shit. So like, yeah, I really struggled like with that integration process when I was like in the first or second grade. But hopefully we'll get them a little bit more socialized before that. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
the
he's
general
only 5
experience of
months.
New England. Small towns, so you don't socialize with many people. And then you go to a big city and you're like, I don't like it. There's too many people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I interrupted you, Heidi.
I don't
There
remember.
are too many people.
Yeah. Anyway, ready to get back into it?
That's my baby.
Very cute.
Our baby was born, our dog was born January 1st and when we weighed her on Thursday, she was 54 pounds. So
Yeah, that's a
they grow
quick growing.
a little faster than human
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Well, she's got 4 legs,
Yeah.
not 2. So,
Could you imagine if Graham was 55 pounds right now?
Yeah.
he can almost sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
Give me the keys, bitch. I'm going for a ride.
60-pound my ass.
Cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He walked out. He's smoking. He had a tattoo.
All right. So you guys are early afternoon, just left the Vault of Sages. It's up to you guys where you're headed.
So I want to check out the fucking map house.
Yeah, do you want to take a peruse through the market?
Yeah.
Right there,
Sure.
before we pop in.
See if there's any
anything good.
any goings on before we delve potentially into some funky tunnels.
Street meat.
What? What meat?
Street meat?
Oh, street meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best kind of meat.
All right. So you're looking for some street meat?
I think we're just
Whoa.
I'm gonna
Okay.
look for. Could I find some powdered corn extract and some parchment? Would any of those things be at any of these stones?
Yeah, I'd say you could find those easy enough. I mean, the parchment, obviously, that you can find that
Yeah.
real easy. The powdered corn does take you, half an hour or so, but you eventually find like a little alchemy shop or cart in the market section there, and they've got some powdered corn for you.
Okay. I will
Use it
take.
well.
I will indeed. Thank you.
And the total for the two of those would probably be about 5 silver.
All right.
Are you gonna make us tortillas?
No.
Taco Tuesday?
No, that's it's special things for me. I keep this tucked away.
Is there anything, any market or anything you're looking for in particular as you go through there? Just general goods.
Anything of note, like any hustle or bustle around the marketplace? Any
Yeah, I mean
disturbances or?
it's prime time in the day, early afternoon, and so a lot of people are out doing their shopping, or just generally walking around. There's a whole bunch of carts lined up in the marketplace. You see, one, when you first come into the market, it looks like it's got a bunch of leathers and stuff. Another one has like some horse stuff, bridles, saddles, riding gloves, stuff like that. Another one is a general clothing store. So they've got some robes and some general shirts and pants and trousers. Another one's like a shoe store. Some of the a very wide variety of shoes. You can get some very fancy ones or some real simple, barely sewn up ones. Um,
Can I just be on the lookout for that Margaster House Margaster cart? I'm
Yep.
assuming they're probably not around, but
Yeah, so I mean, you were last night. You were told that they'd be back in a day or two. Um, you could ask around, but it sounds like they're not here yet.
okay. All right.
I have a note that specifically says the insignia is a yellow shield with a bird foot on it. So
That would be them.
keep an eye out for that, yeah.
Yep. So there's a whole bunch of variety of shops and stuff. You can probably find like some health potions, stuff like that if you wanted some, but doesn't look like there's anything too crazy in the market at the moment. Just general goods.
Shall we delve?
I think so.
Map house.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so I guess we'll proceed into the map house.
Okay.
See if we can ask around.
Yeah, sure. So you go to the map house and you see there's a few people in there. Looks like one might be notably the not leader, if you will, but the owner, proprietor, or the head of the map house at the moment. And then there's a couple other conscripts in there. They could be in training. There's a couple in the corner. Looks like maybe they're practicing some maps or they're drawing maps. You're not really sure. But as you walk in, you hear a little bell on top of the door jingle, and the head looks over to you and says, "Welcome. I am the lore master. Is there anything I can help you find?"
The lore master. Huh. Yes, good sir. We seek tunnels.
Tunnels.
Yes, we've heard rumors of some passages that once existed below this location, and we're wondering if you had any knowledge of them.
Uh, I assure you, I have been the lore master for quite some time, and there are no tunnels below this building.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
Track.
So, as far as you can tell, it seemed to be truthful. Is there anything else I can help you with?
So, if you don't know of any tunnels, have you heard any rumors that this was once the location of the original Vault of the Sages?
Well, as anybody, you hear rumors of many things in your days. Uh, as far as I know from the owners before me, the lore masters before me, this has always been a map house, and that's what it started out as, and that's what it'll end as.
Are you aware of Professor Valdar from the college?
I am not familiar with too many professors. Um, I know a few over there, but this Professor Valdar, I do not know that name.
So, if there's
Uh,
no tunnels, might there be some sort of subterranean lair?
I believe what you were referring to are tunnels, and once again, the answer is no.
Basement?
There is a standard basement, yes.
Might we be able to inspect your basement?
I am not in the business of letting random people into the basement of the map house, so no.
Can I try and persuade him?
Well, what are you gonna do to try and persuade him?
Flex. Do something scary. Intimidation.
You could
Do something sexy? I don't know.
Yeah.
strike a sexy pose.
Do a sultry dance. I don't know. So far, I have a +5 modifier on persuasion checks, and so far, they've
Have not gone your way.
You've gotten 6 every time.
yeah. Unless I roll at advantage, in which case the second one is decent.
Yeah.
Here, I'll try. I have a
All right,
+7.
all right.
So what are you doing to persuade them?
I think I'm gonna go with max annoying, so that maybe they'll let us see it, just so I stop being annoying.
All right. Let me hear you're annoying.
Okay.
Hmm. You'd think this would really come a lot more naturally. Let's see.
That was not in character, I'm assuming.
No.
So annoying for me right now. So, bought these. This is completely an aside, but I'm going to share. I bought
Yeah.
these seltzers that are from the brand Waterloo, and
Oh yeah.
every time I drink one, I can't get ABBA out of my head, and that's annoying. So maybe sing some ABBA. Waterloo. It's like, oh, Jesus.
I just had an ABBA song stuck in my head the other day, and now I can't remember it. What are your thoughts on Scandinavian hair bands? Do you
I
love them?
am
I
not
love
sure
them.
what Scandinavian is, but headbands can keep the sweat out of your eyes.
Have you ever had sparkly water?
I have had water, and sometimes it sparkles in the sun, yes.
Is it fizzy?
No.
effervescent.
None of these are like really trying to persuade him to let you into the basement, by the way.
While
Right.
they're doing this, can I just exit the building and kind of walk around and see if I can notice anything that looks like it goes into a basement or just under anything, like under the building?
Yeah, so you walk around and around the backside, as is expected, there are doors there that look like they would lead into the basement.
I'm gonna go up and are they open? Are they unlocked?
They're closed currently. You give them a tug and they are locked.
Okay. I'm gonna knock on it.
No response.
All right, I'll just kind of keep walking around the building.
Okay. You don't find anything of note outside the building.
Okay. Alright.
It's a very nice view of the water, though.
Building's close to the water.
This building is close to the water. It's right here.
So is there like a railing or something that's like where the water, like where it abuts the water?
Yeah, so this right here would kind of be, excuse me, a low fence, if you will.
Okay. Is it like a drop off, or is it just like kind of like hilled down to right to the water?
It's a pretty steep drop off. It looks like they probably cut into the side of the river to cut out the squares there. It looks like maybe they use that for boat deliveries and stuff like that. So they
Alright.
made it easier and made them kind of piers, if you will.
I just hear that from inside the map house.
You're not sure what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Can I look at the like
Take a
kind of
chance,
cliff
take a chance,
edge?
take a chance, take a chance.
You look at the
Look at the cliff edge and like, is there any, I don't know, like a sewer drainage or anything that looks like it kind of coming out from underneath that kind of cliff?
you don't see anything on the cliffside, no.
Okay, all right. I'll just meander my way back in then.
Okay. Meanwhile, with the annoyingness happening on the inside, how are you trying to persuade him to let you into the basement?
Can I just roll persuasion?
I will make her stop if you let us get in the basement.
He's quite annoyed at this, so I'll say you can roll persuasion with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Okay.
What does that mean? I still roll it twice and take the.
The lower of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's
And the second. Ugh.
terrible.
Unfortunately, he still does not let you into the basement.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. Not you, Tuna.
If you don't mind, I must get back to teaching my conscripts the art of map making. If there's nothing else,
Perhaps we could pay you for the pleasure of inspecting your basement.
inspecting,
I'm gonna head outside.
inspecting the basement. How much are you willing to pay?
2 gold pieces.
I think it's time you left.
Alright. So I'll turn around and head out.
Your loss. Then I'm gonna stomp out after.
All right.
Guys, I think we should go try our hand at that door.
I can see if there's anything underneath the water. Could be
Sounds
more
like
connected.
a reasonable reasonable solution. Vice breaking and entering.
All right. So you guys are all going around the back side of the house.
Yes.
Gotcha.
In broad daylight, this is what we're doing.
Well, we're gonna.
Is there-
I thought we were gonna inspect the maybe below the water line, which is behind the.
Oh,
Outhouse,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Is there a path down to the water?
No, it looks like it's about 4 or 5 feet. Just a drop off.
That's not too far. Who's the best swimmer?
I can take care of that. Let's have anywhere to like tie off a rope to just climb down easily.
You could probably tie one to
Tuna?
the fence, and that wouldn't be too bad. It looks sturdy enough to hold you.
No. Don't eat my cord.
Squirt her with the
Bye-bye.
bottle.
The blood. Yeah, I'll just do that and just take a easy climb down.
Easy enough. Now there are people around. So are you trying to be stealthy about this, or do you care if people see you?
I don't care.
Don't care. Okay. There are a couple boats in the water, and you do see one or two people giving kind of an odd look in your direction, but nobody has said anything. So you're just going down in the water, or you? What are you looking for?
Are there any other people just chilling about in the water? No.
It doesn't look like there's anybody else in the water.
Just
I
looking
can play it off.
for tunnel.
play it. Oh no, I'll play it off like going not from a city and just like, oh, it's a body of water. Just go bathe.
All right. Just kind of trying to pass off that you're taking a quick bath.
Yeah.
Just give me a persuasion check. Or a oh, I guess yeah. That's fine. You can make it seem like you're rinsing off in the water. People are questioning why you're doing it right there, but they just kind of assume that that's what you're doing.
Maybe I'll toss him a bar of soap.
Been carrying around a bar of soap this whole time.
Whole time.
Gotta keep going.
All right, so you're in the water bathing.
And I'll take a dive down and go and use wild shape, go a fish, and have a look around the walling all by there underwater.
Okay. Give me a perception check with the fish's stats. I think they have stats like that, right?
Oh god, I have to find where the hell that is.
Yeah. Because you have fish's eyes. If they don't, that's okay. We won't worry about it, but I feel like they do. And I'll say that you can make it at advantage. It's because you are a fish and you're in your normal habitat. It's a calm river. It's not the cleanest river, but
I don't know how skill checks work with species shape.
yeah, I'm not sure either.
You retain your wisdom. You retain all of your skill and saving throw proficiencies. So it looks like I would keep my perception.
Your game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the beast. I don't know if that refers to
Well,
all
it
of
keeps
your
going on.
attributes.
But you retain your alignment, personality, and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. You also
Right.
retain all your skill and saving throw proficiencies in addition to gaining those of the creature.
Perception is a wisdom.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about wisdom score, not perception score specifically.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's a perception is a wisdom-based skill, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
But
so I keep my proficiency and my wisdom skill.
so if the creature has the same proficiency as you and the bonus in its stat block is higher than yours, use the creature's bonus instead of yours. Okay, so I guess whichever one is higher, you use that one. That's what it sounds like. So you can just use your perception. And it is at advantage because you're a fish in the water. Just looking for anything along a wall. Well, it didn't help.
16.
Nope.
So with a 16, you do see under the water, it's a couple of feet maybe, but it does look like there is a tunnel, if you will. You can kind of assume maybe it's like a sewage exit. It looks to be about a foot and a half in diameter. As a fish, you can fit up it easily.
I'll scout it out, see if it has like a surfacing spot, yeah, a little bit ways and how far in.
Okay. The tunnel, shortly after you enter it, the tunnel does branch. And I'll say it goes left, right, and straight. Which way do you want to go?
We'll go. We drop down close to it, so if the drainage system, probably straight.
Okay. And you come to another junction. You got left, right, straight, and up.
I'll check out up.
Okay. So you go up, and it kind of comes into a little bit of a chamber, if you will, that's maybe 3 or 4 feet in diameter. That's not very big, but you can see what looks like a hole above you that's got a little bit of a dim light coming through it. It looks to be maybe a couple of feet above the water.
Alright, we'll go down and loop back.
Okay.
He said it was pretty small, like 1.5 feet in diameter.
The tunnel was yes. The little chamber that you went into was bigger.
Yeah, I'll head back with just that information and not get myself lost.
Okay. So you go back down, and then you go out, and then out again, and you find yourself back in the river.
I'll revert back and climb up.
Okay.
There is a pipe, probably just a pipe system that goes down for drainage. It's pretty small, maybe 1.5 feet in diameter, so There are some bigger openings, but I don't see a good way to get down there with the rest of us.
So breaking and entering into the basement of this madhouse?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
All right. How are you doing it?
I would say let's wait till nightfall, after things look closed up, and we can maybe sneak around and try to get into that basement.
Okay. So you guys are just gonna hang out for a little bit? Maybe get some food or some dinner or something, go back at nightfall?
I think that works for me. That works for you guys.
Let's see if we can find any leads before we resort to barging into what we don't know what they'll have.
But where's the fun in not breaking and entering?
I feel like we should be good at breaking and entering at this point. We've done it so many times.
We have not done it.
No. You're part of this.
Crafty little one has.
Our one that usually does it has left us.
Does anybody have like a
And as you can see, that got him into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, it's be
We
smarter
did get
about
gold.
it.
So I will say for the door, when you were looking at it, you didn't see a noticeable lock on the outside, but they were locked. So it looks like potentially they were.
Probably bolted from the inside.
Right.
Hmm.
So it's breaking.
I think I have tunes. Oh my gosh.
She being
Would
bad
I
up
have
there. She being bad up there.
Not being bad, she's just being tuna, which is not very good at the moment post surgery.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yep.
I think I have a picking kit, but I don't.
Well, there wasn't
Oh,
a
I have one.
there wasn't a discernible
that's
lock
not
on
the
the
issue.
outside.
Oh right.
Would I have seen Lowell transform into a fish?
I
Or know of it, I guess.
I would say that you probably would have discussed it a little bit before he jumped in.
Alright.
So you would probably know what he was doing if you
Okay.
didn't directly observe it.
So you just turned into a fish. Could you
Yeah.
turn into something, like, were there cracks, I guess, under the door that was, like, like a gap or something?
Like
That,
maybe
like, something really small could get in?
maybe like a cat, because they have like a magical ability to just sort of
They become mist when they go through doors.
yeah.
But
get right
is
through a
there-
seam in the
is-
wall,
Are there any gaps in the door?
It looks like it's a very. So you're talking about the door on the outside?
Yeah, the one that's bolted.
Probably the biggest one would be like a quarter to a half inch at most. It's not like the most well-made door. It doesn't, seal perfectly shut, but I mean, you would want it to keep most of the rain out at least. So,
Mm-hmm.
What about like a mouse? Just
a mouse can squeeze through a half inch if you think.
What about a snake?
Same thing. Depends on the size.
Rats and such are tiny.
But they also have like an ability to like flex their rib cage, don't they? Where they can like compress it so they can fit under really small things.
Well, Lowell, what are your constraints? Like, could you turn into like an ant and just like walk underneath and then like unbolt the door?
That feels dangerous.
That'd be a bit.
Tunes, please get down.
Mice can squeeze through a hole that's a 1/4 inch in width.
Did you just Google
Alright.
that?
I did.
Yeah. See, I told you they could just like boop, just
I'm glad
flatten
somebody
themselves
else
right out.
did.
Small,
Yeah.
small rats can fit through a hole about the size of a quarter, about 0.96 inches.
Yeah. I don't think it's off the table. Let's all say.
No, I'm just.
It's definitely a possibility.
I'm not sure how to feel about getting excited about rat facts, but like I'm pretty excited about it.
Validation.
I mean, does anybody else have any thoughts on what we should do other than that?
We're either gonna break through it, burn it, or somehow sneak through it. So,
How did burning it come into play?
well, I mean, fire is nice.
It's a building full of parchment.
Oh, right. Maybe, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna break it down or sneak through.
I mean, there is a saying, as quiet as a mouse. That's all. Throw that out there. Boop, boop. Underneath, good to go.
Lowell, we're
Well-
waiting on you.
Well, is now the best time to do it?
Oh God, no! We're gonna wait till it's dark, nighttime, closed up.
Well, but what if he sneaks in now and gets a look during the day, then comes
yeah.
back out, and we can do it later?
I can only do it so many times a day, or I must rest.
See, how many do you have left?
We can consider that an option if we can't find any other leads before night. We'll leave it at that.
Mm,
Okay. Alright, so the mouse is plan B. Alright.
I thought it was Plan A.
Well, investigating is maybe plan B. It's plan A after nightfall.
I gotta go take Tuna outside.
Okay, yeah, we'll take a quick break.
Avoid making unnecessary enemies if we can.
It's a good discussion. Mice, rats.
Yep. How small can a rat fit through? Got it.
Important fun facts.
I don't know if you did you hear that? Haley was just whistling Waterloo.
No, I didn't.
No. I don't know how much gain he has. She just tried to give the baby some peanut butter. It didn't go over so well.
Mm.
Did we discover anything new?
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay.
Wait, do we have everybody back?
I don't think so.
Ryan's back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's up to you guys. What are we doing now?
Fear I may have insulted the lore master with my 2 gold bribe. Would
Do we offer them more?
somebody else like to up the ante a little bit?
Do you really think that bridge is still intact?
Maybe not with me, but maybe if somebody else wanted to, go in and present an alternative offer.
Also possible there's other entrances to the tunnels farther away from here, the map house. If it is a full in and out system.
Yeah, but how far out do these? I mean, the tunnels say they go to another city, correct?
That was what they said. Yep.
They didn't say which city specifically.
They did. Well, okay. No, 1 second. You guys keep talking. I'll tell you which city it was.
Because if we really run out of leads and are at a stopping place, we could try and hit the tunnels from the other end.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
these-
a lot of dead ends to get to that point.
Well, depending how long the walls have been here, it's possible they might just be other entrances just outside the walls.
Yeah, true.
If there was use for getting in and out in the olden days of the city.
And we've already done a perception check around the outside of the map house. Nothing.
He looked around, but there wasn't anything.
Okay.
It goes to Silver Glen. Obviously, you don't know that, or you probably would have read that in your books. So Silver Glen and then Harper Hall are where the passages went. Which, if you wanted, you could pull out your map of Faerun and look at those.
How far away are they on the map?
So, Silver Glen is in Silvery Moon. And Harper Hall, that might also be in Silvery Moon. I'm not sure. Whoa.
Well, if it's in town,
Hold on.
it
Computer
might be wise
freaked out.
to investigate Silver Glen.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's where we
Okay.
bide our time with.
Yeah.
Check out.
You're worth a gander.
What's good for the goose?
There we go. Okay. Sorry, my computer freaked out there for a minute. But we're back.
Shall we maybe inquire about where we can find Silver Glen?
Yeah. Seems like a good.
I feel like the lore master will not be very helpful in the matter.
No, I mean we have an entire market right in
Yeah,
front of us,
yeah,
so
yeah. All right. Maybe wander over to a shopping stall, assuming there's still some around. It's not that late.
Yeah, they're still around.
Excuse me, sir or madam. We were hoping you could point us in the direction of Silver Glen.
So they kind of look at you a little quizzically and they say, yeah, it's right there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I forgot to read.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Anytime.
It's like points
So-
to a sign. Hey, jackass.
And as
So
you
we,
you approach Silver Glen, you do see a sign that says Silver Glen.
All right. Can we inspect? So it's the grove and the shrine dedicated to Sylvanus, the Oak Father. So can we inspect the shrine of Sylvanus?
You can. Who is looking?
I'll look.
Okay. You can both roll me a perception check or investigation. And if only one of you is rolling, then you can do it with advantage.
Heyo.
All right. So we got a 28. It's pretty good. So as you are looking around Silver Glen, obviously it's just like a little grove of trees, and right in the middle is this statue. It kind of is a nondescript figure, but Lowell, you being a druid, you are quite familiar with Sylvanus, who is more or less the druid god, if you will. You can see that the grove itself looks like it was older than the statue was. And as you get closer to the statue, you can see that it looks like the statue was placed there after the fact for whatever reason. It was placed there later than the grove was created or planted.
Hmm. I wonder if the city expanded around this grove or if the statue was placed here later. These trees are far older than that statue.
Can I walk up to the statue and start maybe poking and prodding it a little bit, seeing if anything wiggles or moves?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's probably about 3 feet in diameter at the base and stands about 8 feet tall. It's made of one piece of wood, and it looks like it's pretty thick. The top obviously has less wood there, so it's a little lighter, but the base is definitely pretty hefty. And just by gently touching it, um, it doesn't move.
Okay. What if I start pushing on it so as to look underneath the statue?
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Strength or athletics? I mean, I can do either. That's strength.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that one for now. I guess it probably should have been athletics. You can roll athletics, and or what's your modifier for athletics?
+7.
Okay, yeah, you can just add that onto that d20 roll. So,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit better. So as you push it, it does rock just a little bit, but it's incredibly heavy and is very hard for you to move. You can like just barely get the lip to come up.
Can I utilize... Hold on a second. Sorry.
Now keep in mind, this is the Grove, the Silver Glen. There may be people around, and this is dedicated to Sylvanus, the nature god, if you will, the Oak Father. So, whatever you want to do to this grove, obviously that's up to you guys, but keep in mind that you're not far away from population, and it is a area dedicated to a greater being.
Wood Daddy the Oak Father.
How
might wanna-
large is
I
this
want to
grove?
avoid some desecration.
The grove isn't too terribly large. It looks like there's maybe a dozen trees planted in a mostly circle. There's a little bit of an opening on the one side.
And are the trees like very large, or are they just kind of, like well-grown trees?
They're well grown. It looks like maybe it wasn't a species that really grows that tall. So the trees are probably 20 to 30 feet tall, and the trunks are maybe 12 inches in diameter at most.
Okay.
Good sized trees, but definitely not huge. Not a forest.
Yep.
The question is, should I try to lift the statue?
I would not recommend it.
Okay. Because I have a channel divinity option that allows me to carry, push, drag, and lift double.
I don't know. Maybe they'd put a statue of you there. You lift this fucking giant statue, and you're like, you worship me now.
Yeah. The feat of strength.
And you certainly can.
You should know better that gods don't appreciate desecrating shrines to them.
Well, perhaps you could commune with the deity to see if he can offer us any guidance. Or if he knows the location of any tunnels near his effigy.
Well, we operate a bit different. We're not a direct worship. There are clerics to him, but the druid itself is more with nature itself and not a specific deity. But perhaps whoever the current keeper may have some insight.
Stick with humans. That's a good idea.
Just anger humans, not gods.
Is there a groundskeeper or any sort of uh,
So you look around and
presence?
you don't see anybody present at the moment. It is getting later in the day, so it's possible that they have left for the day, or maybe they don't come around every day. You're not sure, but there's nobody there at the moment.
What does anybody have detect magic prepared? See if there's any object that has any magic about it in the area.
You know, I think I finally unprepared it because Mac always had it prepared.
Mine is also unprepared.
Because he already had it, I'm like, oh, I'll use the spell slot for something else.
Yeah.
It is indeed not prepared.
Yeah. That's not gonna work. So nothing special with the statue or the grove. Is there water nearby?
Just the river.
Just the river? So if we wanted to do another inspection adjacent to the grove, that would be another fish operation.
The grove is a little bit further away from the water, so
Okay.
you may not be able to get underneath the grove from the water.
Is there another place that the book said that the tunnel system went to?
It was
Harper
Silver
Hall.
Glen and Harper Hall. Is that also in Silvery Moon?
You ask around, and nobody seems to know the name Harper Hall.
How near are we to sundown?
It's definitely starting to get later in the day. The sky is starting to turn colors. It's not nighttime yet, but you definitely can tell that nighttime is approaching.
So I have greatly offended the lore master, but perhaps the lore master might know something about Harper Hall.
Who has not offended the lore master?
I mean, we all walked in together. I would assume
All
he would
gated.
take us all.
knows about Harper Hall? I mean, if we really wanted to pursue the Harper Hall action and we're out of ideas for Silver Glen, maybe we could revisit the College of History to see if Harper Hall was renamed to something else. But it seems odd that Silver Glen was named as another sort of termination point for the tunnels, but there's nothing there that would sort of lead us in a direction towards anything tunnel-y. Does anybody have any additional ideas for for Silver Glen before we depart and pursue another angle?
I do not.
No.
All I got is lifting the statue, and apparently that's...
I mean, we can do that if, come sundown. There's nobody around.
Yeah. So we've got lifting a statue, we've got a mountain door,
That
and
works with people around.
yeah.
But again, different thing when you start talking the divine.
Anybody have a shovel? Maybe we could dig around the statue?
Yeah, because that would be less conspicuous than just picking it up.
We could pretend we were
Burying a body?
maintenance.
Creating a
Ground.
moat
Yeah,
to protect the statue.
very safe.
Yeah.
We look trustworthy.
Alright. Perhaps it's best at this point just to, maybe grab a
Daybreak.
meal and wait until after dark. Shall we return to the goat?
Greatest of all time.
The
The-
dancing
the-
goat.
Dancing goat, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Sure.
Where?
Whoops. Whoa. Fancy goat's right here.
You have arrived.
You're there.
But I actually hang back and kind of just, it's kind of around the market and just kind of keep eyes on the map house just to see, if people are leaving. It looks like it's being closed, locked up, anything like that.
Okay, sure. Yep.
Does the dancing goat offer chicken livers?
Surprisingly, yes.
I will do an order of chicken livers.
Coming right up.
Gotta get your iron in for the day.
Yeah.
So you guys are getting meals and drinks again?
Yeah.
That's really all we're good at this point.
Be another 5 silver per person getting meals and drinks.
I've got this one.
I'm not there, so you don't need to mark for me.
So 2 gold, 4 people.
Yep.
Or I guess we've got a turtle too, but who has been remarkably silent.
He's just a little sad that his friend is gone.
All right, Dunzo paid.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are just hanging out there.
Yeah, waiting until sundown.
All right.
We can give the town keeper an ask. They gather rumors. They have any rumors about the tunnel system.
Maybe we could ask around about if anybody's heard of a harbor hall or has anything, of note about Silver Glen that maybe we didn't know before we went or picked up on.
Sure.
But
So
get
while you guys are
get some
asking
sweet
around,
urban exploration in.
oh, what's that?
Get some sweet urbex experience.
Yes. So you guys are, eating and, talk around a little bit. Ravo, you're just kind of skulking around a little bit, keeping to the shadows. You do eventually
What I do-
see the lore master. Does leave, and looks like they got a couple locks on the door. So it looks like they lock it up and head up the market towards the north side. Maybe they're going to get something to eat. Maybe that's where they live. You're not sure.
Okay.
You doing anything else over there?
Um. Hmm. Can I actually place myself as like I see him walking out? Try to like bump into him and like take the keys without him noticing.
You can definitely try.
That sounds
Like it's a high DC.
mm-hmm. Oh, what the hell? I'll give it a shot.
All right. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. All right. So you bump into him, and you see the keys, or you hear where the keys are, and you reach for them. You get a hand on them, and you give them a quick tug, but they're wrapped around something, whether it be like a little rope or something. There's a ring that all the keys are on, and that rope is tied around something around his waist. You're not sure what. And before you have time to really uh, do more to try and get the keys off, he turns and looks at you and says, "Oh, sorry. Oh, wait. You were in the shop earlier. Uh, did you find anything that you were looking for?"
Oh, yeah, I was just taking a look around. I'm sorry to bump into you.
No problem. Have a nice evening.
You as well.
And he walks off, and you do not have the keys.
All right, I'll just kind of make my way back toward the goat, I suppose.
Okay. So you guys are in the dancing goat, asking around. What are you asking?
So I'm gonna approach some strangers in this sort of rowdy, raucous bar and ask if they have noticed anything peculiar about Silver Glen, or if they've heard any stories or lore about it.
Yeah, so obviously it's been there for a long time. Everybody knows about it. Um, there are some people that say, it's just one of those shrines that they build to somebody that they think's important. Then there's other people that show a lot more reverence for it. Some even say, well, there used to be spirits that inhabited that grove, but they've long since left. some people think that they left because um, the people didn't listen to nature well enough. The city, forewent nature. So you get a whole bunch of stories about Silver Glen. Doesn't seem like anything.
Pollution. Or
Nothing super abnormal besides mostly rumors and stories, I would say.
okay. Well, that's disappointing.
Good thing nobody would desecrate such a site.
Most people would tend to agree with you. Some people say, who cares? It's good real estate
Mhm.
space.
Look around for just rumors and stories about the supposed tunnel system. If anyone's heard anything, I'm sure there's tales.
Um, yeah, so most people just say, nah, that's not a thing, and just kind of brush it off. But there's one or two people that seem to have a little bit of the history, maybe. But obviously, they don't know for sure. They're like, this is just a rumor, But they say that, they used to sneak in and out through tunnels under the city, and nobody knows where the tunnels really went or if they even existed. But this was all long ago. That's the majority of what you get.
And we haven't heard anything about Harper Hall or anybody mention Harper Hall.
I say most of the people in the restaurant never heard of it. Um, but you go up to the bartender and say, have you heard of Harper Hall? And the bartender says, shh, we don't talk about Harper Hall. Come back in a couple of hours when it's died down. And then just kind of ignores you.
Just gonna give him a little wink and head back to the table. So I'll share that with the group that I had that interaction. Just like, hey, let's wait for the crowd to die. It seems as though the barkeep has some information pertaining to Harper Hall. So maybe we enjoy another drink or two or three or whatever and wait for the dancing crowd to die down.
Sure.
Opa.
Yeah. I'll kick a few silver in for beverages.
So it does take a couple of hours, but eventually most of the people go home, and it seems like tonight's not a very rowdy night. Maybe most
Good.
people got to work in the morning or something. You're not sure, but it does eventually die down. And there's probably half a dozen or so people left in there. There's two over at a table, a couple tables away from you. There's a group of four. It's on the other side of the tavern, and then there's you guys.
So discreetly, I'm gonna walk over to the barkeeper and say, hey, do you think it's quite enough now to talk?
Says, hold on. Whistles over to one of the other people working there and gives a little signal and says, follow me, and takes you into one of the back rooms. and it's just you at this point with the barkeep. And they say, "Are you a Harper?"
Yes, of course.
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead and give me a deception check.
All right. Oh my god.
Like, all right. Well, look.
Oh.
I know you're not a Harper. I can tell. Harpers can sniff out their own. But what are you doing looking for Harper Hall?
Well, we've been searching for some ancient tunnels underneath the city, and we found in some old text that they may be located beneath a Harper Hall.
Okay. Has
Just gonna be
anybody told
honest.
you about Harper Hall yet?
Not yet.
Okay, good. If you find somebody that tells you something about Harper Hall, you can't trust that person. Harper Hall doesn't exist. You are standing in what used to be a watchtower. That's what was called Harper Hall. It was the home of the Harpers back in Silvery Moon's older days when the South City didn't exist. And this tower was at the forefront of the business of the Harpers. And of course, we wanted to make sure that we maintained our power. So naturally, we had to maintain it hidden. So we became the Dancing Goat. However, we are Harper Hall. Now, why are you looking for Harper Hall, you said?
We are attempting to track down a subject matter expert who is said to potentially be hiding in a tunnel system that resides below the city of Silvery Moon, where there may or may not be an entrance beneath Harper Hall. Are you aware of any such tunnel system beneath this fine establishment?
There are tunnels below here, yes. I have been in them. Some of them are blocked off. I don't know where you're trying to go, but there is a tunnel system below here, yes.
Are you familiar with a scholar named Valdar?
I think I have heard that name. I think he was a professor over at the college, but I do not know him personally, no.
Might we inspect the tunnel system below the goat, the dancing goat?
Give me a persuasion.
We only want to find, this missing man who is of great importance to the college.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
This time it'll do it.
Surely.
He thinks about it for a minute and says, "Okay, I saw the group you were with. If you can be discreet, I can let you into the tunnels tonight."
Of course, we will be discreet.
He looks back out there and says, "I'm not so sure. You don't look like the you don't look like the discreet group."
Opa!
And with a roll like that, he definitely doesn't believe you. So, look, tell you what, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to leave the back door open for you tonight. I'll be here. If you come in after midnight, we'll be closed on the front, but I'll leave the back open. I'll show you the entrance to the tunnels.
I'm going to shake his hand and palm him 10 gold pieces.
This is quite generous. We
All
thank
right,
you.
I don't understand the currency system.
It's
two was insulting, but 10 is more than enough. I don't know.
Hey, it's 5 times as much.
It also depends who you're talking to.
Yeah,
You had already pissed off the lore master.
that is true.
2 gold is just a giant fuck you.
Maybe I should have gone with 10 initially, but whatever. It's fine. All right.
Okay. All right. Remember,
And I,
be discreet.
I'll return to the table and share the news.
Okay. So what are you guys going to do for the next couple of hours? By
Well,
the
I
way,
suppose-
you have a short rest if anybody needs a short rest during all of this. I think the only one that would affect is maybe Lowell. I don't know if you get a wild shape back,
Yeah, you get a wild shape back.
so you'll get that back. But everybody else, I think, was still full from the morning. So you're gonna hang out here or walk around for a bit, and eventually it will close, and everybody will be kicked out.
I suppose we, like, while we're waiting for things to wrap up, we can go regroup at the inn that we were staying at. The
Wayward?
Wayward
The Wayward
Oh,
House.
Wayward.
House. Yeah. Just to, kill some time.
Did we buy rooms for multiple nights?
I think so. I'd have to go back and watch the previous video to know exactly what happened. I was also thinking you came here with a caravan, and I think you were supposed to tell them within 24 hours if you were going to stay here or go back with them. I don't remember what you guys said with that, or if you were going to wait the 24 hours. So we're kind of,
Approaching the 24-hour mark.
well, we're
I
kind
thought we had
yeah, kind of
thought we had
starting.
let them know that we weren't.
Yeah, it's kind of starting new because it has been such a long time since we played the last one. So
I mean, I don't mind, like, making a call. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you guys want to keep pursuing this angle, I'm kind of into it. I say we stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you go back to the
Where are you?
Wayward House, and that's where the guy was. You make sure he knows that. So. All right, so you guys hang out for a couple of hours. Get your rooms for a couple more nights, or at least one more night.
All right, and maybe now that the night has set in a little bit, we can investigate the backside of the dancing goat. Look for a unlocked door
Sure.
because we lost our lock picker.
So I'll just have everybody roll a group stealth check.
For discretion.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was
Zara.
almost a 16 for me that I rolled.
Or one
It was
person
not.
might actually have the skill. Oh, you actually have the skill and you're going to have the worst?
Well, I have disadvantage, so I gotta roll again.
Hey.
Okay.
Or one person that actually has stealth.
Yeah, no shit.
How Gilda has stealth
It
too.
was like it was about to be a 16, and then it just tipped over into a 6.
Nice.
You bastards.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, with
I've
that.
got it.
Yeah, so she definitely led you on the right path to avoid any eyes. Also, Cam is frozen in a really funny position.
Or am I just here?
What's going? You're like a robot,
Robot.
man.
Oh, no. Alright.
Oh, it
bad.
shouldn't be too bad because it's not like have to be completely unseen. It's just playing it off.
Yeah. discreet, and when you get to there, making sure nobody's really watching you as you go in the back door. Guards would see that as you're breaking and entering because you're going in a back door of an establishment, late at night. But no issues. So you guys go in there, and you see the barkeep, as I said, is there waiting for you.
We're
And
just the night stock crew.
yep. And they lead you through the back room. There's a door that goes down into the basement, and down in the basement, there is some, tables and chairs and stuff. Looks like maybe they just hang out there once in a while. And then in the corner, there's a little rug, and they pull up that rug, and there's a trap door on the floor, and they open the door, say, "This is the entrance. This is as far as I go. I wish you good luck. If you need to get out this way, you can make your way to the back door. I'll make sure the back door stays unlocked for the night. If you make it through, find another way out, that's good too. Just come find me in the morning so I can make sure I lock the back door again."
Let's see.
Much obliged.
So the old vault was under the map house, right?
Correct.
We want to generally go east.
Yeah. Am I unfrozen at the moment?
Yes. Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll go ahead and end it there, entering the tunnels. We'll pick up next time. Hopefully we get our remaining player back. Hopefully he's feeling better. And we'll stop the stream there.